Dylan Burkhart from Hoops posted a summary article yesterday of Justin Joyner, Michigan's assistant coach, who came over from St. Mary's. And he was on Brian Bosch's Defend the Block podcast, a great Michigan basketball podcast. Every single week, they're doing great interview stuff. But shout out to Brian for the interview. Shout out to Dylan for the summary of the interview. There was a quote that really stood out to me of Justin Joyner talking about how Michigan basketball approaches defense. And he mentioned some things that happened last year that changed the way the Michigan staff now views the way they're going to build defenses going forward. And obviously, he came from St. Mary's. St. Mary's a great defensive program. So I think Joyner's been very involved in trying to build out Dusty May's defensive philosophies here. This is what Joyner said, though. He mentioned Braden Smith. The quote was, "The level of play consistently within the Big Ten, it's going to force you to be deceptive in your coverage, forces you to be a little bit outside the box in your methodology. Guys like Braden Smith, you can't give them the same look every time. So you've got to be able to switch it up, keep teams off balance day to day, game to game." Joyner then spoke about how he thought as a finished product last year, 12th in the country defensively. They were happy with that, but there's still untapped upside for where they could go next with this new roster. Found it really interesting to hear a current Big Ten assistant coach name an opposing team's player by name like that, in terms of like, yeah, we had to completely change what we do because we're worried about Braden Smith. You give Braden Smith the same look, he will torch you. If you think back to last year, remember the sequence of how Michigan played Purdue? They got blitzed at Mackey, and it looked like Dusty had zero adjustments. Came out game two, threw a lot of different defensive looks at them. Remember, they went zone. We were at that game. Michigan won. Michigan won game three as well in the Big Ten tournament. So I think it would be safe to say, looking at last year, that is how Michigan approached this. Game one, they had, this is what we do defensively. Braden Smith destroyed them. Game two, game three, we're going to throw a lot of weird different looks at you, and that seemed to find success for them against Purdue and Braden Smith. But I don't know. How do you feel about this quote? What do you make of this approach? And how important do you think stopping Braden Smith is to every team in the Big Ten?
I think I guess how would I put this? It shouldn't be Big Ten specific. It should not be. I think every team in the country should be worried about figuring out a way to stop Braden Smith, truthfully. It is he is a player that is can kill you at any time. So I feel like Joyner, it was Joyner, correct? Who said this?
It was Joyner, yes.
Yeah, he's saying the quiet part out loud, saying what everyone is thinking. Because I think everyone is thinking that. The only thing that this could cause issues for is that once TKR hears this, he's going to be like, "Wait, what about me? You don't change the defense for me? I'm Trey Kaufman Red." But look, I think that Michigan did do a lot of things defensively in that second game that were different looks that did make it difficult and did contribute to them winning. Um, I think it's going to be a whole new ball game this year, though, because when you do change up those looks, I think Purdue has a lot of different options and players. But yeah, Joyner's saying what everyone in the country is thinking. Braden Smith is what makes Purdue go. If you cut the head off the snake, they might have other good players, but you have a very good chance of winning a game if you negate Braden Smith or make it tough on him.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college Football 26. Back to the video. Yeah, I think it's the ultimate sign of respect, right? Like, I don't know. When I first heard this interview and read the quote, I had two thoughts. One, I was like, damn, that's right. That's what they did. And Braden is that good. It's the ultimate sign of respect for a player I love. Then the second side of me was like, damn, I,
Now,
don't- I
can I
what?
say the second? Can I say the second side?
Sure.
Let me. I want to. This is the only way I know to how to articulate it. Um, Michigan's doing a lot right now. Has a lot of positive momentum. There is no need for you to go out of your way to do astronomical tricks on it for another team's player.
Okay, not the way I would have worded it, but yeah, it's the Super Bowl mindset, right? Like when Michigan beat Purdue in the final two games of last series, and I was victory lapping it, saved the Big Ten on Twitter, right? All I heard was, "Oh, congrats, you were your Super Bowl." And my response to that at the time, again, I'm not a player coach who gives a shit about fans and media people on Twitter, but like my response was like, "Yeah, you are our Super Bowl. This game matters to me more than it matters to you. Good luck." And I don't know, like there is an element of like you're a top 10 team in the country. Focus on being the best team in the country no matter who you play, rather than in the middle of June we're talking about Braden Smith. But that was just like even if that's what's happening here, my interpretation as a Michigan fan is simply this: good, good. Let's make no mistake about it. Purdue is the team to beat here. Let's lay all the cards on the table. They're the number one team in the country with the best player in the country with the two All-American level players. They had those players last year. We went 2-1 against them. Let's be honest about it, right? Should that have happened? I would argue no. I would argue Purdue probably should have found ways to win more than one of those three games. But I found that like I love the approach because it's exactly what Michigan did. They changed up the scheme. And I remember when we did our Michigan Purdue recap after the Mackey game, the loudest takeaway from me was that Dusty May got pantsed in the first meeting, right? I talked about how this was a moment for him to either announce that he's a Big Ten contender or he's not ready yet. And he got absolutely destroyed. He had no adjustments. And I remember even looking at you at the end of the video, I was like, listen, the only thing I'm holding out hope for is that Michigan got down so much so quickly that Dusty didn't want to show anything for future meetings. And I don't know if that was a conscious decision in the moment or if they regrouped after the fact and said, listen, we can't throw one look at Braden the whole game. They came with a completely different approach in game two and game three, and they outcoached the Purdue staff in game two and game three. So if this is the approach, if we need to be that Purdue centric as the way Michigan basketball is thinking in June, in order to hang a banner, in order to come out of this upcoming year winning 2 out of 3 against him again, we're never going to win in Mackey. I would never predict that. But if that's what this takes, let's do it. Let's talk TKR too, because we got to take away the left shoulder.
Yeah. You think he made any adjustments for Trey Holloman?
No. Absolutely not.